of course do better next week, but this is what I can do today. We actually do have some nice action, so I'm going to try for last time and see. Going to try for last time and see. Actually pretty cool bluffing combo, but gonna check raise all in this table. Very famous player actually, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but pretty famous guy. Do win all in. Do flop a hand that we can actually stack off. Mommy with the pot bet. 5, 9, 10, of course. Not sure if you have to color, it's kind of tough to miss. I think we're just gonna fold. Here, tip number 4, we're gonna stack off. We do get a fold, which seems as if we were trying to get a call, but folding is actually quite nice. He did bet a big size, so getting a fold is not too bad. We're on table number 3. We have 4-card Maniac, who is 3-betting quite a bit, so we cannot open as wide as we usually would. Table 4 now, we have a 7 blocker, King of Club blocker and a 9 blocker. I think it's enough to start betting. Check calling is super iffy. Let's see if we can get a crowd back in. I understand it's been a very tough experience trying to watch me today, but who knows? Who knows? The people might come back. Lead and we have to fold. Got a couple of tables off table now. I have to concentrate. Set out next hand. Binning this one as well. We're playing against 4-card Maniac, who is a student of the game, but we probably have a pretty decent edge on him. For that reason, I think it's kind of not out of line, but it's not great to start limping. I think you just want to go raise only, and for that reason, it's probably a nice idea to shave off a couple of hands. He's 3-betting quite liberally. So we're going live, we'll see. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. On table number 4, we river to pair. We were kind of bluffing, and then we probably lose a hand, but I also think that the machine likes to not bluff that one. Actually ram this one in. Wow, there's a lot happening. It's too much dimension happening. Too much to mention. Okay, so we have a very big pot here. Couldn't show the rest of the hand, but he opens, we call, he c-bets, and we raise. At lower SPR, these 8s are more than strong enough to try and stack off. We shove the turn. Let's see what our opponent does. He does call, probably on a draw, 55%, could be better. Could be better. We don't win the flip. Going back to this table. Yeah, we're gonna try and bluff, which is not easy, but I think we have the kind of hand that we could consider bluffing with. Nice hero call by my opponent, who does not like to fold. Does really not like to fold. Okay, on table number 3, we're going to raise. Getting bluffed here and potentially bluffed here in a spot. Plenty of action. Let's see who still wants to watch me. 48 people. It's not too bad. Welcome back. He's back. We want to finish hearing about hiatus and dating. Welcome back. Hello, Dirk. Oh, sorry, the action is... There's a lot of tables, so it's hard to do the questions. Are you going to play the 2 million guaranteed on ACR? It's running. No, man, it's the times are pretty terrible on that one, so I cannot really play it. Unfortunately, it's a super nice tournament. It's pretty soft even. I'm going to skip it. I used to love it, man, the Venom. I had a couple of good runs in it, so not opposed to playing it, but 2.7 is probably fine. Fold out 8s or a jack, it's already pretty big. Here on table number 3, I don't think we would actually consider folding at any point. And when facing a check, I think we're just all in. It's very hard to have bluffs here. My opponent calls with a king high flush, GG. Forward card maniac out. Thanks for the action. I guess that's the end of that table. That's the end of the table. Maybe we can scoot in another PLO tournament. Always good for practice. Catch our opponent bluffing. Pretty decent combo to do it with. And now on table number 1, we pick up a monster, considering the fact that we have 20 BBs. So 3 tournaments and a heads up against Leiko. Third time's a charm. Yeah, man. This is the last time I'm gonna try. I closed down GG Poker, so should be a little bit more smooth. We're all in against the aces. We lose. Still struggling with those all-ins. We do re-enter. 5k tournament. It's the one that counts. I think a lot of these guys are going to visit Cyprus. This table is not easy. The kind of table where I kind of question the fact if I do have an edge. We do have quads over here against Leiko. We do get called. Ace jack jack, well, he would have called any size. Pretty sure. Not sure how happy I feel with my sizing. Do block kings, but maybe without an ace we just want to pull bet. Jack 6 deuce deuce. Into the mug. Into the muck. Welcome back, Emil the Raccoon. JRR is saying Happy to catch your stream. How do you play heads up while playing so many tables in chat? Yeah, it's not easy. It's not the worst either. Yeah, we're going to raise. Funny turn, my opponent still has all the 7-8s, or a lot of them. I think we can actually check, realize our equity. Putting and getting raised is pretty terrible. Now we have the option to put bet on the river. Okay, so our opponent is known for not folding easily. So Moneyless in Brazil is saying, how do you play heads up while playing so many tables plus chat? Isn't just the heads up enough brain power? I mean, it is, and I would prefer to play this guy just by myself. But then again, a lot of spots are kind of easy. So, yeah. My opponent does have the 7-8. So we got away good there. Got a limp here. Raise against the limp. Think both betting and checking makes sense here. In a way, this hand is terrible. We have 0 pairs, no hearts. Check calling isn't too attractive either. Wow, limp raise from Namos. Don't think we're supposed to fold here. But it surely does seem very strong. King 10 is pretty good for us. Not going anywhere. Does flop the flush. We have outs and we do hit it. Wow. Boy oh boy. See, or we stab, I have to say, here with the spade. Spades are nice for stabbing. Check raises are often hands that are overpairs with a flush draw or something along those lines. We are very low in our showdown, and that's the kind of hand we're looking to stab. Here in this $500 tournament, we have a funny spot where my opponent is stacking off all of his overpairs. He didn't see bet, so he's kind of taking away all over pairs and flush draws. Again, this is a $500 tournament, so maybe the conclusions that I'm drawing now are incorrect. But with that read and my kind of hand, I think we can actually consider calling the river. We did have the best hand there. Best hand there. Here with the king jack, we actually have interesting bet or a check call. Opponent folds, can still call a king. But we do show a lot of showdown, or block a lot of showdown value. We're back to 100 viewers quite quickly. Looks like we're getting a little bit more popular. Hello Derek, 5 PLO, 5k cash running. On coin with BGP, join in and good luck. Thanks man, I will join into that one, or at least go on the waiting list. I think it's nice to showcase a bit of 5 cards. There's a lot of people on the waiting list. There's Yolov playing. I don't see Bobby. Actually, don't see Bobby. Folding here, checking. So yeah, we got very lucky here in the 2K. which is nice. Pretty cool limp re-raise from Namos. Pretty cool limp re-raise from Namos. Tough spot on the turn. I think calling here is relatively standard. And I'm potentially bluffing this river. It's very hard to have air. This guy doesn't like to fold, but we have a very believable line here. I'm not sure how long I can play him on the stream. Don't want to give away too much. Open and a 3-bet. We're running okay. Let's go, Vinny, the culture watch. Yeah, thanks guys. We have 100 viewers quite quickly. I'm sorry for fucking up the stream. I'll do better next time. Here with the set, it's a very nice hand to slow play. We're not really worried about any turn, to be honest. We really want to give our opponent the chance to pick up a couple of outs. And here on the turn, his check is so incredibly, how do you say, polar, that I think we can check with the threes. It's a bit experimental, I guess. It's a bit experimental. I'll zoom into the table. I want to keep the air of our opponent in the hand. Did have the air. So you can see if you really lock into certain hands, keep the air of your opponents in the hand, they will bluff. Sometimes it feels like they won't, but they will. So here we start with the jack, we get shoved on, and we're not gonna fold. But we get an overcall from Windjoy, which is pretty strong. This decision is still relatively close, but with the overcall I think we can get out of the way. Probably as an overpair. Table number 4, we have a king queen. I think my opponent would have bet most of his aces, most of his fours. So I think we go for a value bet here. Limp and a check. King high now. We switch over to table number 3, where we flop the world basically. 2 pair with a net flush draw. We limp called pre-flop. Limp called pre-flop. Oh, brings a king. I think most of our range want to be checking on the king. It's quite strong. Card for my opponent. Again, nothing wrong with betting. We don't really need that much protection. We really want our opponent to bet. Here again we have such a strong hand. It's a hand We might want to jam, but it's also a hand that we might want to flat call. I'm going to jam this time, but wouldn't be surprised if flat calling outperforms jamming. My opponent did give up last hand on the river. At the lower stakes, you sometimes have less willingness to bluff the river than at high stakes. I feel like you can still call hands that are worse for value. Going to limp the kings here, table number 2. Let's go, Vinny. Will you be playing Pilo High Rollers in Cyprus Onyx Club Series? Looks pretty decent tournaments. I would love to go, but I've been traveling a lot. Also, I'm not that liquid at the moment, so I think those are 2 good reasons not to go there. I'm even thinking about skipping Jeju and then going to Montenegro, so we'll see. We will see. Nice with some heads up content. Good luck, Derek. I took some shots at 2k 5 card at GG earlier. Went well after a couple of solid and lucky spots. Back to not playing for 4 months. Thanks for the instructions. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries, bro. Okay, so here it's kind of a nice hand to stab with. We block the king of spades. That is a very relevant hand or card. Also having the kings is nice for potentially barreling on the turn. And then the jack is nice for potentially hitting the turn. I think both betting and checking is fine here. We do river the nets, not the nets, the boat. We might want to go for value now. Always dangerous against the Namos. Can very much still have ace jack, hand that we're blocking though. We win the hand. Going over to table number 3, where we have just a 9 in a protected pot, so I think it's not a great idea to start bluffing here. We take it down with a 9, that's when you know something big might be happening. Flop top set here. We lead. Our opponent doesn't like to fold that much. Also, I think it makes sense in terms of ranges to lead there. Check, check on the turn. I think we can bet for value on the river. With these lower sets, we're still unblocking a lot of the 2 pairs. If I had ace 9, I think it's a nice hand to potentially check call with. Also having this 8 of spades could be good enough to consider calling when we get raised. Sep, an appreciated viewer of the stream, bets here on the turn. 1 big blind. Just 1 big blind. We're going to 3-bet this hand, ace king jack 10. We flop so good that I think we can just bet smaller. Get a quick fold. We get a quick fold. Let's see the questions. 140 people tuning in. My God, I might have to start streaming more, huh? Last stream, second place for 14k. That's true. That is true. Flop 2 pair on the bottom right, which I mean might not seem like much, but actually we do have a pretty decent hand. These spots are tough at the king 6 against the pot bet. I think I'm gonna fold. It's probably a little bit too tight against the machine, but against human ranges might be okay. We're going for the trap here, but the Leko does not bite. Leko does not bite. We get a seat, but the game will break on the 5-card table. Okay, little stacky here. We're rivering the straight and we have a spade, so we're not going anywhere. Could consider betting for value even. Small or big. Choose your poison. Pretty rough spot if he does come over the top, but he just calls. Had a hand that could bet. Going to defend the big blind here with a very defendable hand. These hands might not look super strong, but they're actually very easy defense. Connected hands with a pair in it. These flushing turns, we step a bunch. We do get the fold. Oh, hopefully you guys didn't hear that. Here with the queen 3, it's kind of funny. This hand we could consider bluffing. And when somebody bets, we can consider calling it or raising. Talking about this hand. Going to call it, see what my opponent is up to. Does get caught with the hand in the cookie jar. Here on table number 1, we have an opponent that we battle with a lot. Very balanced checking ranges. So we want to go big with both value and bluffs. We're going to pot. He's called me so many times. Might get it. Might get it this time. Okay, we're going a little break. That's nice. I can do some questions. Good luck, good luck. Feels so good to bluff pot, donk, river and get it through. That is about the flush we had and turned into a bluff. Do you mix hold'em live with Omaha? Not really. When not liquid, do you typically sell assets or plan to play more poker? It's a good question. When I'm not liquid, there's usually like a pretty steady stream of income coming from both poker and investments. So usually I just play, not necessarily more, but just play the usual hours and wait for things to change around. But yeah, I've been running super bad for a long time now, so that's not, I mean, I guess investment wise very good still, but in total it's been going down. So it's not the first time I'm facing a situation like this, and I could very well be selling a lot of funds, but when I sell the funds, my potential winnings go down. If you sell at markup, you're not trying to sell your ticket for exactly your edge, but you're kind of trying to share your edge with your backer. So if I go there selling most of my action or half my action, I lose quarter of my income. So yeah, makes it worth making the trip less for sure. And on top of that, I'm going to Japan with my family, and I'm going skiing after. So those are two very good reasons, yeah, three, I guess, if you count them separately, to not travel to Jeju or to Cyprus. There's still guys going there that I know, and sometimes I buy some action, so I think for now that's a great solution. Once I become more liquid again, I'll fly out more liquid and prepare myself enough, because I do feel like in general I'll have a decent edge, but I made a mistake in the Bahamas that really stung, so I want to make sure that even if I'm running bad, I'll be able to be so studied that I will prevent myself from making that mistake. We get raised here. My opponent is kind of saying, okay, I have the super nuts. It's probably kind of close what we have to do here. I like calling with the flush draw a little bit more and just ripping it in with the naked straight. There's a stack depth where that switches around. So if we're 100 big blinds deep, it's very bad to shove there, because now we're folding out his air and we're going all in against his bluffs. That's the opposite of what we want to accomplish. Funny spot. Very tough to realize our equity here. Could almost jam this hand. Looks very punty. Calling seems super terrible, I don't know, it's a bit punty this, but we're short a stack now. Still top pair with a good shot, but very hard to realize our equity there, out of position. Don't you play MTTs at GG anymore, or are there none in the high stakes? There are, but I fired up GG Poker, and there's something going on with my laptop where both GG Poker and OBS freeze, so I cannot play it this time. But next time around I'll have the camera set up back, as well as tournaments on GG Poker. But to be fair, there's not that many tournaments that still run. 8 out of 9 plays spade 9. Okay, this happens often on coin poker, where I dunk around the payout places, because I'm not aware of the fact that we're almost in the money. It's a very, very big mistake, of course. Very expensive. I'm not sure, but I probably played a couple of hands that I was supposed to fold. This one is closed on the left hand side. Gonna limp fold this one, I think. So now the ICM pressure is not that big. This hand is very playable. Very playable, and then also, of course, very c-bettable, but it would be such a shame to be blown off this equity. It's a terrible turn. We don't have a diamond, we don't have blocks to the straight. Check it back. We have an 8. No showdown. Table number 3. I think it's a bit awkward here, but we'll generate a ton of folds. And here on table 1, going for the 3-bet, of course. Toilet rack in the tank. Could be a wide variety of hands. It's just king. He's at 20 big blinds. It's probably fine because I think he plays quite alright pre-flop poker. Depends on how well I find my 3-bets. Here we get a small 3-bet. Still late reg going on. Just checking. Not that I base my decisions on that. I'm not sure how I feel about the small raise. I'm going to call, of course. It's actually quite a tough decision we have here. We don't hold with the aces, which yeah, can happen. We have a pair double open ender, but it might be closer than I think. King might be covered 7 as well, but I think we're just gonna call. Good luck us. 25% is what we need, and we are way ahead of this. I mean, of course, this is the one hand we do super well against. So we're back to starting stack. Here on table number 2, we bluffed, but I missed showing the hand in time. On table number 4, we're going to go for thin value. It's not great, especially not if you have an opponent that raises a lot, which he might do, but we also have an opponent that doesn't mind a little hero call. So it's a slippery slope. Going into the time bank, I'm not expecting a raise now. Let's find a thin call.
Jess. Hé maatje.
Hey maatje. Ja, heel taal met een handdoekje, heel spannend.
Dankjewel maat. Gaat goed hier?
Ja, gaat goed. Net?
Zo, dankjewel voor dit hele fijne weekend.
Ja, geen probleem, maatje.
Ik heb enorm genoten.
Dat vind ik heel fijn om te horen.
Eén grote verrassing. En vooral het weekendje met de man op pad.
Lekker. Dat gaan we erin houden. Dat is goed. Dat is goed.
Meisje, dankjewel nogmaals. Mag ik lekker slapen?
Dat is goed. Zou je een watertje voor mij kunnen pakken?
En zand?
Nee, dat is prima. Steven, maar je weet wat ik wil zeggen. Oké. Do we want to check to stab here? It's kind of crazy, I think. Try to do some questions. It's hard when you play a lot of heads up. Good luck, man. If on GG there are 6 to 8 tables running of 6 card PLO 2K, why don't you grind? Also, why Grasvis saying you are not a heavyweight? By the way, I am a fan of you. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not really a fan of giving action to GG Poker. I think they're doing a bad job catering for pro poker players, which I understand from a business point of view. But of course, from a earning point of view, it's bad for me. So I think that's one of the reasons that I like to skip those games. I also think that almost always when there's 2K action running, I'm better off studying. I really struggle getting enough hours in studying, so I think adding action is definitely the opposite of what I want to do or should be doing. Here we have an interesting spot. We can check call, we can bet. Super nice to make him fold the jack. Maybe queen, but most of them are calling. And then here we actually have a rough spot where the 6-7 comes in, which we do block. Here we're going to 3-bet. Here we're going to bet. And things are going well. Our opponents are doing the stuff that we want them to do. Folding when we're bluffing. So we have a couple of nice stacks. Might be able to do a couple of deep runs. Of course, we're running very good against Lego. Just doesn't have the goods whenever we're betting. It does have a little bit whenever we're having a strong hand as well. Because you have been so successful, do you find you end up paying for family trips? How do you balance that or keep it within reason? From Chaps. Thanks for the question. I think it's actually an interesting one and also one that I have a lot of experience with, of course. So this family trip in particular is going to Japan, and it's something that my parents couldn't afford even if they wanted to. So it's either me paying for them to go to Japan or them never going. And my parents have given me a lot in life, and I'm not talking about the how do you say, necessarily materialistic things, but they've given me a youth in which I didn't really have to think about too much, which is very is worth a lot. Here we're going to jam the ace jack 7. He's got a ton of queens and kings in his limping range, but still I think we have to jam here. Goes all in, so that's probably bad news. And it does have the queen with the flush draw. Might be close, but with the overpair and a gut shot, I think we just have to close our eyes and jam it in. With anything less than that, I think we can go for a check. So yeah, to come back to the Japan trip, it's me inviting them to go to Japan, or else they would never be able to go, and of course I end up paying for them way more than they pay for me, but I also work hard to give them experiences like that, so I'm okay with it, but it's definitely something you have to learn to give. It can be a little bit of a struggle. People don't always respond the way you want them to respond, and then it shouldn't be about that, but then still it doesn't really help when that happens, so we just openly discuss it every now and then, and I think I do a great job not expecting anything in return, because it's easy to give and expect stuff in return, and they're doing a great job being grateful and having fun with me. My dad is is the first person to accept gifts, and then my mom, she struggles every now and then to accept what's given to her. Here with the king 10 deuce, it's a nice hand to potentially check call, blocking a lot of the showdown value. It's kind of close here with the king 10-8. Betting can be cool, but getting check raised does really suck. Second out of 18 players, and I think we do have late reg. Yeah, how to keep it within reason. I think just discussing it with your family, like letting them know, okay, this is what I would like to pay, and then I would like you guys to pay a little bit of money just to represent an amount that you would spend on the holiday anyway, something along those lines. Here we go for the c-bet. It's kind of in the middle of this hand. Check calling is terrible, and then betting does fold out a ton of hands. We do have a club, we do have some turns that we can continue on. Now we're checking, not necessarily want to bet, fold my hand. Comes in with a small bet. Looks pretty strong. Not really supposed to fold here. It's gonna be very tough to win this one. We did have a couple of very clean outs still. King probably good, ace potentially good. Queen, nuts, 10 probably good. And now we can just fold our hand. But yeah, nice question. It's not always easy, like trying to balance that. Of course, I shouldn't be paying for everything, but then again, I feel it's also kind of okay for me to pay for a lot of things. Playing anything less than 50 big blinds effective in cash should be a crime, should be forced to top up, lol. Yeah, on the one hand it's true, and I do like deep stack poker more than short stack poker, but there's definitely a big skill in short stack poker. It's funny because you would think when you're playing short it's very hard to mess up or make big mistakes. You can make very big mistakes 10 BB deep. Here in the 2K, and it's a huge 2K, right? We have 40K up top. It's quite cool. We're playing just as we would normally play. Seven-day no rattle is super fun. You have to play so many different stack depths, 10, 25, 50, 100, 200, 500 plus sometimes. Sounds super dumb, but it's super fun. And interesting in practice. Yeah, I do agree. It's kind of nice. And very hard for other people to mess up in. Red holders do not play 500 BB deep. Usually not, but if there's a table where you play it, that's the one. My opponent is at the moment sitting out. We turn ace 8. It's a decent hand, but also not the hand that we want to jeopardize our tournament life with. We do face a pot bet from Namos. I think we just call in position and play a river. I know these spots, they seem very uncomfortable, but they're more uncomfortable for my opponent out of position than for you in position. A lot of these spots where you want to get your stack in. Oh, I cannot slow roll, I'm at the full house, we're never gonna fold here. Does end up having the bluff. And they grab him off the table. Very cool hand to bet 3 streets with. Doesn't really mind raising or folding to a raise on the turn. Not blocking obvious draws that I could have. So I really like his play. People really struggle having aggression there. So ace queen 8-8 call. Thanks for the thinking process comment. Yeah, sometimes I guess I have to be more vocal about why I'm doing certain things. I did a very good job when I was doing the Russian cash video. But yeah, I'll try to do that better. The definition is that they buy in for the minimum and then hit and run. They might play 25 big blinds deep, double up and then leave. Well, spam Robin, I'm playing those tables and people actually play very deep because you cannot red hole for a week, which means that if there's a bad player, maybe there was action here. So that means if there's a bad player, I think I missed the table. Let's see. Shame. Doesn't pop up to the front. So if they do have a big stack and there's somebody online that they feel they have a big edge against, they're very inclined to join the table in the end. Let's see. I'm better off studying than playing 2K PLO. Yeah, it's true. My poker goal for 2026, more of a fantasy. Thanks for sharing. That's a tough one to deal with. Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah, obviously nice to be in a spot like that, in a way. Going to raise here, it's not printing. Here on the final table, gonna give you guys the payouts. This 5K, we've been running pretty bad. I think this is my 4th bullet, if I'm correct. 3rd, actually. And then here in this 2K, we had a double up, which puts us in a very nice position. I'll have the payouts here, see if that works for you guys. Please let me know. Please let me know. We face a check here with the Jack 10 7 8. I think we want to bet big. And here we face a limp. I think we can raise it up with the Ace Jack 8 6. Have you ever played against Gucci Nag? It's a question that keeps on coming back. Is he the best PLO player in the world at the moment? I think he's the best PLO player in the world. I think he won the most, he is the most, there's nobody that's really battling with him that's close to the top, except for Giselle. Can we bet here, or do we just check here? What makes him the best player? I think he's the best player between being very well studied, so well studied that he's able to pay attention to the things that people that are very studied don't pay attention to. So everything else, then knowing the right combos to do certain things with. He's just the end boss when it comes to being very disciplined, and then on top of the discipline, being able to execute the information that he studies so hard. Of course, I'm not sitting next to him whenever he's playing, so it's not like I know exactly how well studied he is, but considering the fact that he has a lot of opponents that study super hard and can beat him, I will have to assume that he studies quite a bit. So yeah, that's what makes him the best. And he's the best by quite a bit, I think. I think in general, at the top, players have a real high level of respect for Dirk's game. Yeah, there's always a bit of negativity going on in the poker world whenever it comes to having respect for each other's game. Never really understood. I think I've always been respected, but I also think that I'm one of the guys that has spent the least amount of time studying, which means that there are a couple of spots where I mess up. And if you're very well studied, it's probably hard to understand, or just doesn't make sense when I'm making certain mistakes. Then again, it's always been a mix of me just enjoying playing more. I'm gonna check here. My opponent does have the flush. It's unfortunate. enjoy playing more. I also think there's a lot of spots where just studying is not worth it over playing. So sometimes it's been a conscious decision, but for sure I left a lot of money on the table by not studying more. I'm trying to fix that now. But yeah, in general I think I'm respected, but I also think that people don't consider me top 5 or top 10, which is fine, because I'm not. Okay, we have a couple of spots. Intending on becoming it this year though. Going to pot bet. Expecting a lot of folds here. And then here we have a check, a bet, and a call. I think we just want to get this hand in. Of course my opponent's gonna have a jack, but 5 poker, unlikely to limp the jacks and then not raise against a small lead. Here we have a very interesting spot. I'm kind of uncertain, and in tournaments leaning the tighter way is fine when you don't know, but I think we just fold there. We don't gain that much from calling. And here on table number 1, we miss the flop. Just have to fold. 40k up top again here. We are 6 left. Number 6 getting 5k, 6k, so small jumps, and then to 9.5. That's a decent one. But yeah, there's always levels to this game, right? So the guys that are in the top 5, they are so much better at poker than I am, that I understand that I mean, looking down on me is a big word, but that they don't consider me a top guy. I guess along the same lines, how do you manage maybe older non-poker friends asking for money? So I'm in a very lucky spot that all the friends that I have from my childhood, they've done quite well in life, so they're not in a situation where they have to ask for money. I have been in situations where people have asked me for money, and I've always said no. In general, whenever I go out with my friends or go for dinner, I just pick up the bill. But I don't want people to owe me money. If I see someone in need that's very close to me, I will give them money, but I think borrowing just gives me an extra headache that I don't want. But again, I've been in a very nice position where that happened. It didn't happen a lot. Okay, here we're gonna stab. I'm expecting a lot of folds, but for sure he can check back flush draws at this SPR. We do get the fold, and it's very nice, right? We do have the jack, so you're like, okay, we have showdown value, but really, what is he raising our limp with? Most likely he overpairs. So if you get those to fold, it's amazing. We did have the club in our hand, which makes it more likely that my opponent does not have a flush. Jabberwocky with the time bank check. It's very interesting. River and 8. We have another big spot on the 2K final table. We just led into the chip leader. check, we'll switch over the table. The poker gods are asking for a bluff. Picking up the 8 of hearts. This is pretty sick. We're blocking the 10-7. We do turn an 8. And we have a heart. It makes for a very nice bluffing hand. Here on the river we probably have to give up. The range of our opponent is quite strong now. It's not like he's calling with nothing on the turn, a lot of 2-pair hands that boat up on the river. Our adventure is ending here. Let's see what our opponent does. Yeah, just at fold. Gucci, Giselle, Lukaku, those are the guys that are playing at the high stakes at the moment. Hopefully I'll get there. Yeah, as DX10, I think that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a secret anymore. Is Ace King Jack 9 hand always a 3-bet? Get it in 20 BB from open any position. I mean, it depends on the situation, especially in tournaments. You have a lot of spots where some people have to open so tight. Wow, we have a big hand here. Oh my god. Some tournament poker going on here. Okay, well, that's the nice thing about folding. That's something we're not gonna do here. We do have a lot of pressure on us, but also if we double, we're very likely to get second, so I'm going to ship it in because I expect a lot of fold equity from this guy. We do get the fold. We get jammed on here, it's a pretty bad spot. We block all the bluffs. I don't think I can fold, but might be closer than I think. Terrible shape. Terrible shape. Not sure about that spot. Can be too bad. Can't be super good either. 4th time we're buying into the 5k. We need a big cash in the 2k desperately to break even. So here we had a big hand. Bavy of blank is saying oops. We can look it up. I consider Bavy one of the best tournament players in the world, so always fun to see what he's up to. Show you guys the hand. So here on the bottom right we have the hand. Bavy opens, gets a 3-bet and manages to find the 4-bet with a very speculative hand. Flops him kind of dead, which is insane, but it's a 9-5-4 deuce double suited. Don't do this at home, kids. And we're pretty happy, right? We make a pay jump. So it's pannenkoek number 6. And number 5 will get 5.8k. Our stacks are kind of even. That's one of the reasons why the 3-betting the kings is pretty standard, I think. Our opponent is willing to open fold. And picking up those chips is very important in terms of doubling, even if we have a short stack at the table. I think people in general go a little bit too passive whenever pay jumps are in place. Here with the ace, queen, queen, 4, I think we have a hand that we want to 3-bet against an open. We face a limp and a call. I think we're gonna raise it up at this stack depth. Tricky. I think we just bet 25% here, as we would with hands that are not strong. We get jammed on, easy call, 56%. Pretty big all-in terms of going further in the tournament. And here, open from Baby, 3-bet from Yodo. I end up folding, as does Baby, and that's bad for us, of course. We want him to bust this guy. Yodo Hoki. We mentioned those guys, and I think Yodo Hoki is definitely one of them as well. Super strong heads-up guy. Don't want to mess with him. Someone sent me on Coin20 for play username lost file. It's hard to do it when you're playing. Sometimes I send money when they ask for it. I think it's quite nice. It can really make someone's day. Baby busts Mr. Nomos Mykonos. We're 3 left now, and the pay jumps are actually getting quite steep. 4 left, so it's 9.4. And a pay jump of 6k. There's gonna be a decent amount of pressure on everyone. And things are getting more exciting, boys and girls. It's nice, we have another deep run. We face a limp with the kings. I think it's pretty standard to raise it up there. And the flop we can comfortably stack it off on. Sometimes we get jammed into there. Against flush draws. We might get a fold, which would be very nice. Okay. And this 5k is getting very, very big as well. 20 runners. Kinda nice, couple of deep runs. Come on, rich gladiators. You left off saying you spent a lot of time with friends and family during the hiatus. Yes. What do you guys want to know about that? I'll go to this screen. Don't be so greedy. Good luck, my main man from Cameron. Pair draw is opening into the chip leader. I need coach. Okay, I guess we're going for it with this hand. Wish me good luck. Get a couple of folds, that's I think the best situation. Need a coach and money to beat these bots. Yeah, it's funny, like that's what people always say when they're losing. That's a bunch of bots and it's impossible to beat them, but the truth is that there's still a lot of games that are beatable. I don't think it's easy and I don't think it's something you should be pursuing, but funny spot here with the set. We get raised. Entirely possible that my opponent has the net flush. We turn the quads, and I think that's very good for our range. So I think leading here is fine. 3.9 seems fine. Pair draw with the open. It's kind of funny, this spot. He did open before. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this one in, but some of these spots seem very standard and they're not. We do get a quick fold, meaning it's an amazing play considering the fact that our opponent has open folds. But there's a lot of spots where people don't, or people are too tight. We're on a bit of a roll. Doesn't Laszlo play under his own nickname on Coin Poker? Not anymore. Pillow Hurts is saying it works. Okay, thanks. Sometimes looks spewy, but like Dirk said, if a player better than you does something you don't understand, they probably have reasons. I'm sure he has an amazing red line. All side players I know, they steal money from that side away. Okay. Okay, this guy is getting the banhammer. It's been a while. Special guy. We have 200 people tuning in. Phil, if you could change the title, that would be amazing. Or maybe we have it already. No, I think we're still on the old title. I think we're still on the old title. And here in the 500, we're first in chips actually. First in chips, and this is also very interesting. Oof. Bavy wins it, so we have another pay jump. It's starting to look pretty good. Now, Yodo, Goki, and me are under a tremendous amount of pressure. Not enough where this hand is a fold, so we're going to 3-bet. To get the fold. Here we have a 3 that we're going to fold. And this is the table that it's about. Very funny spot. I think we just fold this hand. seems to be very strong, but if we do fold, these two guys might put the chips in, which is really something we want to accomplish. Anyone know if Juro Jin has a hut? I'm not sure. Do you think there's a PLO hype right now? I think PLO tournaments live are extremely popular, so for sure. Online is kind of weird, like we have these tournaments on coin poker, but other than that, there's not that many big PLO tournaments. Should or could become bigger, I think, and I hope. Here on table number 3 we pick up double suited aces, which is nice because we're chip leading and people probably think we open too many hands. This guy on my left has been very active. Does find the call. Threes on the flop. I think we want to bet here. I'll actually check here. See what my opponent does. That's 9 big blinds, which is very surprising. I don't think I'm good enough to get away from this hand. Of course he's betting or ripping quads or 10-10 now. I think 10s are possible, 3s are kind of unlikely, but can always be possible. Pot bet. Okay, yeah, this is really not a spot where people usually bluff. I also don't think folding should be on the table. Don't have many 3s or 10s to call here. So we're calling, but yeah. There's not many people that bluff there. Yeah, he's got the 10s. It's quite unfortunate. We lose the chip lead. And here we're gonna go all in. We limped with the queens. We do hit the 3 and that's very nice. And here, King 10 Jack 8. So yeah, unfortunate spot. And on the other table, it's whatever. Do people bluff there? Not really. Should we be folding the aces there? I also think that's a no. Okay, a couple of spots. This one, for instance. We're 6 out of 9 players. Just gonna take these jacks to showdown. I think we can fold it. Those stands, yeah, can we fold? I don't know. How many times do you get bluffed there? I don't know. 8, think we can open this hand. Nice to catch your stream live. Good luck, bro. I love your content. Thank you, sir. We do get a little 5-card action here. It's always nice. Thanks for these beautiful live shows. I like playing Sunday tournaments with your video in the background. Me too, Ales. From Michael. Would you play those super nosebleed games 501k? If you felt like you had a small edge over the opponent, like a risk-reward question, I guess. I mean, back in the day, yes, but I think these days I'm getting a little bit more risk-averse in those low edge spots. If the edge is high, I would still take very decent risks, but if not, I think there's a good argument for not messing yourself up. Going to fold here. Here stabbing is nice, I think. This is table number 2 we're talking about. To have a good shot to the nets. It's not completely unexpected that we get some raises here from Bavy. Our hand looks pretty bad, but we have a very clean out to the nets. We might be able to win the hand. Now we just have to surrender. Here, Jabberwocky leads into his half pot. I think we gain not much from going all in there. I think we just want to see a turn and then stack off. And of course, on this turn, we're gonna stack off. Hoping for a draw. 77%. Wow. That's very nice. This is in the 5k. We have 5 starting stacks now. we're nowhere near the top spot, but that gives us some hope for cashing this tournament. 5th out of 7 players. That's kind of insane. It's not 5 starting stacks. It's 3 of them. That makes more sense. We're gonna break. We go on a break. We have table 4, 5 card, 4 max. Usually when Yolov is playing, he's playing more than one table. Maybe not today. We'll sit out and grab some food or something. Always good ideas to think about and grow on. First ever Dutch guy to pay for the whole bill on a night out, question mark. Yeah, we have a terrible we have a terrible name, the Dutchies, and I think it's kind of true. As in we're not really loose with our money. Very nice take on money and loans. No ticky. Every time I loaned out money to poker players, something went bad, except for the 1-2 guys very close to me that I trusted for many years, so I stopped doing it. Yeah, I would think a good general rule is not to do it, but then again, all the people around me, they're like pretty successful at what they do, so it becomes less of a problem. Like there's a steady stream of income. If I made a European laugh as an American, that's an accomplishment for me. PZ in the chat, feel free to change the title, Phil. Good evening, how can I win your coin poker cap? We might do a giveaway at some point. Dirk, being 58 years old, I can tell you that spending time with your mom and dad is the most important thing you can do. My father's gone and I wished I had spent more time with him, so I think it's great. Thanks, man, for reassuring that is the thing to do. Yeah, there's a lot of love both ways there, so it's easy to spend time with them as well. And I'm looking very much forward to the Japan trip. If you guys want, I will try to post 1 or 2 albums from Japan. Not sure if I'll be streaming, probably not. How come you are not playing cash games, just tournaments lately? Tournaments for the stream, man. Storytelling is better than cash games, I think. I'll pick up a quick little snack. Okay, found a chocolate croissant. That's better than I expected. Okay, we'll continue the tournament, and to be fair, there's gonna be a lot of spots here that I'm not too sure about. For instance, this one. I think we can just fold here. Sitting in at the 4-max again. Oh, this could be a big one. Okay. Couple of interesting spots here on table number 3. I think we just check fold this kind of hand. Table number 4. Flop a set. And in the tournament we actually flopped top set. In position, I think we just want to flat call, because all of these spots are very interesting. So I'm gonna finish this one first. Then I flush against the Yolov. Not sure if I can bet it for value. Jack I, then I just check it back. Yeah, the flush as well. And then here we have the top set in the tournament. I think we just check it back. Miss out on some value. But of course, a clean turn, we would have pushed it in. Actually chipping up quite nicely. Actually chipping up quite nicely. Here we're just kind of hoping for a check. How to continue against the big bet. It's a small one. That's fine. Yeah. Depends how you look on at hands, but it's either a potentially super insane hero calling hand, but I think it's just too crazy to do that. So I'll choose the coward's route. I can just fold back to the 4-table view. Thanks everyone for watching. It's nice that we still have a decent amount of views on the stream that went offline twice. Hey, didn't know your Bodemos on ACR without opening all the tables on there. You won't get a seat against recreational. Is that frustrating? Well, I am in the lucky position that I get to table start, so that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. But yeah, if not, then it's terrible. It's not that nice. So I guess you have to work hard to be able to open. Martini Dam. I would fold the Queen Queen 10 9 small blind versus button with Bavy chip leading as much as he is. So the Martin would fold the hand. I think doubling up is worth a lot there. in terms of getting second place. So I think it depends more on if your opponent is opening and folding against the 3-bet. Then again, Martin has studied quite a bit more than I did. Always nice to have his opinion on spots. And for sure I'm gonna run the hand. Still, if you run a hand, it's not like you get the absolute answer. You just get what the ICM is suggesting. And from there you have to see if your opponents are actually responding in that way. We're gonna get a super interesting spot here. If Baby opens, he does not. Does not open. We do get a limp from Yodo. I think he has a ton of limp folds, as well as potential limp raises. Limp calling, of course, happens too. Connected hands, does go for the limp raise. Okay, we're going all in. Second place and potentially first place if we manage to survive this one. It's gonna be 80%, 100. Okay, boys and girls, we're heads up for the win in this tournament. It's actually quite nice. I did prepare these stack sizes somewhat. I think both checking and betting is fine here. We'll zoom in on the stable. I think Bavy is like far superior MTT player, but I have to think that I'm ahead in this exact spot. Ahead in the sense that if we had the same stack sizes, I would be a couple of percent more likely to win. Him having more chips is obviously more important. It puts me at a disadvantage already. 6-3 takes it down. 7 out of 7. We're getting paid here. So we're gonna defend this hand. Get it in. See if we can get lucky again. We do. We do actually. Here we can both check and bet. The top right, top left. We're going to defend this hand. Talking about this table. Limp for Baby. Raise it up. I think we can use this kind of bet size. Get a quick fold. Limp calling here. Flop the 2 pair. Then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Bavy's just super stud at heads up. And now he played quite a bit of heads up back in the day. Might as well be more aware of the correct ranges than I am. Going to check here would be terrible to get check raised. We want to bet super polar in position there. Good evening, Imba Jimba. Was your session good today? The night is young. Yes. It's always hard to say. to take that one down. Best of luck. Then Martin, the chat pros are behind you. I'm not sure what that means. Guess behind meaning they're supporting Martin. So here we do quite well against delayed c-bet. Ranges. Queen rolls off on the river. Half pot. I think we only have one decision here. It's the call. Surely would be nice to have a club in our hand, but oh, very thin value bet by Baby. Very thin value bet. King, queen, queen, 5. It's kind of on the edge of the hand. We want to 3-bet or not. Really depends on how Baby is constructing his ranges as well. You can just see bet small here for range, actually, or close to range. No, I think we have a fine hand to check. We still have plenty of good hands that we're also going to check here. One-fifth from Baby. We have a relatively easy call. And an interesting spot on the river. I think I have way better hands to call here. Baby, of course, good enough to bluff here, but I think we don't even have to really consider it. We open pretty polar. And let's see bet. Get raised. So far it's a Baby clinic. So far it's a Baby clinic. Vinny, could you please make new pillow 200 Russian cash and explain while trying to focus on optimal play, bet sizes, blah blah blah. I have a couple of spots now. Can raise this hand. Table number 1, we managed to limp with the aces. Get the raise. It's a pretty nice spot. Putting our opponent in a tough spot. We have a funny spot on the other table as well. We're going a bit overboard here. Can't be too bad. Can't show the hand, unfortunately. Maybe better because it's very likely that Baby is watching the stream. Getting all the information he can, as he should. Do get a fold with the aces, that's very nice. And we go back to the Baby table. We watched the old one yesterday, seemed 2 wide ranges for rake. Amazing content, good luck 2026. Don't be too mad at me. I'm pretty sure I did play ranges that were way too wide, yeah. Not way too wide, but too wide. I do think if you have a skill edge you can go quite a bit wider, but considering the rake, it's probably better to tone it down a little bit. I don't think I should be playing correct ranges, also considering the fact that I'm trying to tape content. But you are right, I did play too wide and too wild. I'm going to open this hand. Can fold. Such interesting and good action. This is super whatever this call, not making much money. We do have some money in the middle, so can't fold too many hands in a big blind. Ranges are a bit stronger though. If Baby is playing the right ranges, he should have some very weak hands here. We're raising this hand. It's not standard by any terms, but if we do get the fold from my opponent, we're having the best time ever. I think here we're potting, considering this hand, and maybe even pot folding. Just make up my mind. Make up my mind as it happens. River the straight. It's a very weird spot. I can't take too much time because we might get stream sniped or something. Not that I think he would do it. Rivering the straight and winning the hand, it's a very, very nice outcome. It's definitely freestyling a little bit there. Oh, we might actually take this one down. Gonna go all in on table number 1. It's actually pretty big for our chances to win the tournament or to cash the tournament. This is a 5k. 13 chips, we lose that one. We bet for full pot on table number 2. Putting our opponent in the blender. It's hard to fold the flush here, especially considering how aggressive I've been. Shown up with the pot bet multiple times, not having it. Let's see if we can be stream sniped. I'm pretty sure we can't, and also pretty sure Sean wouldn't ever do that, but okay. Decent hand. Maybe I should take a little bit more time there before clicking raise. Definitely limits my options to have a bluff. Going for the delayed. Going for the delayed bet. Get a call, and with the 10 I think we have to take it to showdown. Though it really isn't that much of a hand. Like, bluffing might be better, but for my opponent I think we just have to fold here. Of course there's some like 4, 5, 7 hands that miss. I want to bluff here, but I am unblocking those quite nicely. 7, 8 is still there, all the slow plays. Not too happy about it, but I'll fold. We go quite polar, at least whenever we don't have an ante. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that's the case as well. Vinny, you're such a fish. Another person added to the block list. The higher the stakes, the more is a call. Limp from Baby, and we raise it up with the queen high flush. This is a hand we can bet 3 streets for value. I'm blocking all the pairs on the board, which is nice considering those are the hands you can call with. Gonna raise this hand, fold it against the 3-bet. We do get 3-bet. Make it. King 9 deuce 4. Happy we don't fizz a raise because I think we have to fold this one. And now we can go for value 2 streets. Check raising is even possible. No pairs again, so we expect some folds to get the call. River check raise, super cool still, but I'm blocking all the pairs, so we're just gonna go for the pot bet. Quick call, so probably means Baby was sitting on a flush. Something along those lines. Very tempting to open this one instead of limp calling. He did see us folding to a 3-bet before. Hasn't really been folding much himself, we have to fold here. Ace King Jack 4. We raise it up. 20 BBs, actually stacked up 25 BBs where limp raising becomes pretty big. We have an interesting spot now. These two-tone boards were usually betting not big, but this exact hand really likes to just bet big. Apply maximum pressure. Table 1. We slow played our king. And now we're pot betting the river. My opponent is thinking about it. I have a lot of spots that I want to show you guys. He does call. Mug. Here we check top pair. And on table number 4 we're going to step the size of the pot. Back to table 2 where we're gonna pot bet the turn to pair. Surely we can size down a little bit, but I don't mind this size. 6 brings in 1, 2, 3 straights, so we'll have to check back, potentially getting bets. 5, 7. I wonder what would have happened if I would bet there. Ace 10, 10, 7 is pretty decent hand. I think we can 3-bet this one. It's a bit weird, against normal ranges it's super nice, and then people in general limp a bit too much with weekends and raise not enough with weekends, but getting the call is already okay. This is for the tournament, boys and girls. Can we do it? We have an overpair. 64%. Wow, we do it, baby. Come on! That's a big 2K. Not gonna lie. And we're still in the 5K. Could be a very big Sunday. 40K. Take it down against a very formidable opponent. We miss a bluff on another table because we're too busy streaming. Go to the full table overview. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We're gonna go and try for the double. Easy call with ace-ace IMO. I don't think he plays 3 like that. 2 people on the planet fold there. Man, I'm so far behind on the chat just because they're very active. Let's see. Info is public. Most win only with rakeback. I think I can open this hand. Has very nice qualities, and also we have a smaller stack in the big blind. If the table is very soft and all preflop rules are ignored, do you still play tight? Or do you try to see as many flops as possible to take advantage as they overestimate post-flop hands? First we jam this one. Might get some folds. Wow, that's very big to win this hand. If the table is very soft and all the pre-flop rules are ignored, do you still play tight or do you try to see as many flops as possible? Yeah, then we want to see a lot of flops, especially with hands that can hit okay hands. Like you don't want to start playing 7 high flushes 6-way. But for instance, this is a good example. 10-10, 8-5. It's a pretty terrible hand, but when you flop the 10, you have an okay spot. Could have stabbed there. But we don't. Should be updated now, thanks Phil. Grande Venividi Vincenzo in the chat, my favorite Italian. I think it was Galfon that said you don't need to change your play, you're already exploiting them with solid play. It's true, but you can exploit people even more. So it's definitely a mistake never to exploit in those cases. If they go broke very light, you definitely want to play a lot of hands. Where can I get the coin poker cap you're wearing? I'm not sure if it's for sale, man. And I really like it. I know it. I'm also wearing it to represent the brand, but I also wear it in my day-to-day life. We're second out of 6 players here in the 5K. Very exciting chip configuration. Kind of like last week. This is super interesting. Like, how do we approach this spot? Raising is definitely a thing. Getting 3-bet after raising is terrible. So maybe just calling and calling a raise. I have any good luck, good game, brother. Mini Dragon, trying to catch up from all the messages. You guys have been active. Prediction is up. Gamble. Do you like to sim before a big important session? It's always nice to study the exact format you're going to play. To be fair, BNCB plays for 7 to 9 hours. Don't know what you're talking about. Personally, I quite like a coffee and or some zin before a big session, but I've heard BNCB says he personally prefers playing with a clear mind. I think most guys just prefer the clear mind thing. BNCB has top 1% discipline. That's for sure true, yeah. Here we have a set, and it feels like we're getting slow played super hard, but then again we do have a set. Gets it all in. Let's see. 72%. That's not too bad. Here on table number 1 we're going to open. Like picking up these chips is very valuable. I don't even know if I can fold against a 3-bet. It's like such an insane spot if you double up here. You'll be the chip leader, most likely taking down the tournament. It's so hard to sim these spots. It's a good day so far, huh? Winning in cash games as well. Ben has ice bath discipline. Yeah, surely he does. King, Queen. This is so tough. I think we can fold here. Not having an ace is definitely terrible, but one mistake and you waste your time. I find him incredibly cringe. I actually, when I went to Vienna for the coin poker photo shoot, I met Ben. I think a lot of people can learn a lot from Ben in terms of mindset. Also, he's like running a business on top of being a very competitive poker player. I think he has play for entities than anyone alive. Volume in PokerStars is crazy, blah blah blah. Sick hand with the Jack 7. I like the setup between switching between tables much more than multiple tables on the screen. Just some feedback. Switching between tables much more than multiple tables on the screen. Yeah, that's why we're zooming every now and then. I'll keep the zoom on this table now as I'm out of the other tables. We sit out here, we keep that one open. I'll have the payout of the 5k here, and there's a juicy 48k up top. Oh, just imagine the double. It's very possible. Very tough table in the 5k. Easy fold here. Let's see if we're almost caught up with the chat. I think so. Drop that hammer. Hey Derek, what are your current expectations on Bitcoin for the next years? I don't really like to do predictions on any financial asset. I have no idea, and it's not like it's worth anything to get my opinion on it. In general, when I look at it as an asset class like real estate or stocks, where I think over time it will go up. Might be slightly undervalued at the moment, but I wouldn't necessarily buy into it. I would love to do videos about investing, but then again, of course, I don't have a background or official degree in it, so maybe it's also a little bit weird to think that people are waiting for my advice. Just investing an amount monthly into an asset that's appreciating is the way to go, it seems. It's very boring, but it can make a small amount into a very big one over the years. Yeah, this is super interesting. Opening this hand or not opening this hand. You kinda wanna play for the win, but such insane spots. Pick up 2.25 big blinds. I hate my timing, so I'm gonna fold, but dollar cost average and hold for a couple of years. This is financial advice. I actually like that financial advice a lot. No cash game, good luck. We had a cash game, but it stopped running. Come on, the boys. Good game, let's fucking go. I guess that's where I took down the 2k. It's very nice. We ran very hot, heads up, but congrats on the win. Good game. Is staking possible? There's not many people that can propose an interesting staking deal, to be honest. Ship, that's us, baby. Okay, I'm up to speed. If you fire up a question now, I'll be able to pay a little bit more attention to it. In this 5k still, it's a very interesting spot. We're 13 chips, 4 binds deep, so that's 20k. We break even if we get third. Baby still in this one. Seeking his revenge. seeking his revenge. Can play a little bit of heads up if we wanted to. This is 10k. Probably have the best hand now, but it's hard to get value from a hand that's worse. Not anymore. Bet. Block hands that can call. Doesn't mean we're never betting. Will Vinny win this heads up? 80% yes, 20% no. I'll have to find that 20% and get rid of them. Appreciate the trust. Congrats Papi from Victor Naiden. Looking forward to having you back here, buddy. Okay, this is one of those spots where I think we have to play for the win. Very exciting. If we do win this, we are chip leading. Looks like aces by the speed of it. We'll see. Oof, flush draw, come on, one time. Such a big hand. Oh, we do lose it. It's a huge all-in. Wow, 100k chips. Oh, that would have been nice, but no. I think it's okay though. I am pretty happy with the play. Waiting for Martini Dam to step in and say if it was a good play or a punt. Imagine winning that one, huh? Chip leading the table. High ICM spot, but no, can't complain of course. We ran well today. Took down the 2k and now all the action is gone, so it's time to thank you guys for tuning in, even though we managed to mess up the stream twice. I'll try to stream every Sunday, same time, 4 hours roughly. Thanks everyone for joining in. I think the total is, we're up quite a bit, still 30k, so it's a good day. See you guys next week, Sunday at 6 or 7, depending on where you live. Ciao, ciao.